Meet Sarah, a maid who's been silenced, humiliated, and belittled by her wealthy employer, Jessica. But one day, a shocking photo goes viral, and a brave lawyer, Tom, steps in to expose the truth. What happens when the law takes notice? Will justice be served, or will wealth and power prevail? Watch till the end to find out how one courageous woman's story sparks a movement and changes lives forever. The truth will shock you. One day, while Jessica was hosting a charity event, she forced Sarah to wear a servant's uniform with a tag that read, "I'm a maid, not a human." Sarah's eyes welled up with tears as she served the guests, her pride shattered. As Sarah poured champagne for the guests, she caught a glimpse of herself in a mirror and felt a wave of humiliation wash over her. The tag seemed to scream at her, reminding her of the inferior status Jessica had assigned to her. But little did Jessica know, one of the guests, a young photographer named Alex, noticed the tag and felt a surge of outrage. Alex snapped a photo of Sarah with the humiliating tag, and it quickly went viral on social media. People were outraged by Jessica's cruelty, and the hashtag Justice for Sarah began trending. However, the post was quickly deleted, and Jessica managed to cover up the incident, claiming it was a misunderstanding. Alex's photo was removed, but not before it was screenshot and shared widely. Unbeknownst to Jessica, one of the people who saw the screenshot was Tom, a young lawyer who lived in the neighborhood. Tom was appalled by Jessica's behavior and decided to investigate further. He began to observe Sarah's treatment at the hands of Jessica, gathering evidence that would eventually lead to a shocking revelation. The charity event continued, but the atmosphere was tense. Jessica beamed with pride, unaware of the storm brewing against her. Sarah, on the other hand, felt like she was living on borrowed time, waiting for the moment when she could break free from Jessica's grasp. Little did she know, that moment was closer than she thought. Tom had just moved into the neighborhood and was known for his kindness. He would often see Sarah working long hours, and his curiosity grew. One day, while Tom was gardening, Sarah came out to throw away the trash. Tom smiled and greeted her, but Sarah just nodded and quickly went back inside. Tom sensed that something was off and decided to dig deeper. As Tom watched Sarah from afar, he noticed the way she would flinch whenever Jessica spoke to her, the way her eyes would drop when Jessica criticized her. Tom's suspicions were confirmed when he saw a bruise on Sarah's arm one day. He approached her gently and asked if she was okay. Sarah hesitated, but Tom's kind eyes put her at ease. She began to open up about her life with Jessica, and Tom listened attentively. Tom's anger grew with each passing minute as he realized the extent of Jessica's cruelty. He asked Sarah if she had anyone to turn to, but she shook her head, feeling helpless. Tom decided to take matters into his own hands and gather evidence to build a strong case against Jessica. He started documenting everything, from the long hours Sarah worked to the way Jessica spoke to her. Tom was determined to bring Jessica to justice, and Sarah's story was just the beginning. Tom approached Sarah one day while she was taking a short break in the backyard. He asked her about her day, and Sarah opened up about the mistreatment she faced at the hands of Jessica. Tom listened attentively, his anger growing with each passing minute. Sarah shared stories of being forced to work 18-hour days, of being belittled in front of guests, and of having her personal space invaded. Tom's eyes widened as he realized the depth of Jessica's cruelty. He asked Sarah to document everything, and she began to keep a journal of her experiences. Tom also started investigating Jessica's past, uncovering a trail of complaints from former employees who had been silenced by Jessica's wealth and influence. Tom's evidence was mounting, and he was determined to bring Jessica to justice. But just as Tom was about to file the case, Sarah hesitated. She was scared of the consequences, of losing her job and her reputation. Tom reassured her that he would protect her, that she deserved to be treated with dignity and respect. With newfound courage, Sarah agreed to move forward, and Tom filed the case against Jessica. The court took notice, and Jessica's world began to unravel. Tom's evidence was irrefutable, and Jessica's reputation was on the line. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown between the wealthy socialite and the determined lawyer. The court took notice of Tom's case, and Jessica received a legal notice that shook her to her core. She was accused of emotional distress, harassment, and exploitation. At first, Jessica was dismissive, thinking her wealth and influence would protect her. But as the reality sunk in, she began to panic. Jessica's team of lawyers tried to spin the story, claiming Sarah was a disgruntled employee, but Tom's evidence was irrefutable. The court proceedings began, and Tom presented the evidence, including testimony from other neighbors who had witnessed Jessica's behavior. As the trial progressed, Jessica's demeanor changed from confidence to desperation. She realized that her reputation, her wealth, and even her freedom were at stake. She tried to intimidate Sarah, but Tom had already prepared her for the battle ahead. The courtroom drama unfolded, with Tom passionately arguing for Sarah's rights and Jessica's lawyers trying to discredit her. But Tom's preparation and determination paid off, and the judge was convinced of Jessica's guilt. The verdict was near, and Jessica's fate hung in the balance. Would justice be served, or would Jessica's wealth and influence prevail? The judge delivered the verdict. Jessica was found guilty of emotional distress, harassment, and exploitation. She was ordered to pay compensation to Sarah and face community service. Jessica's face turned pale as she realized the consequences of her actions. As Jessica looked at Sarah, she saw a strong, proud woman who had fought for her dignity. Tom's victory was not just about winning the case but also about giving Sarah a voice. The neighborhood began to see Tom as a hero, and Sarah as a symbol of resilience. Sarah finally felt seen and heard, thanks to Tom's kindness and determination. She thanked Tom for believing her and fighting for her rights. Tom smiled, knowing that justice had been served. The aftermath of the verdict was a turning point for Jessica. She began to reflect on her actions and the harm she had caused. She started attending therapy sessions to understand her behavior and work on her issues. Jessica's family and friends also began to distance themselves from her, not because they were shocked by her actions, but because they realized they had been enabling her behavior all along. As Jessica served her community service, she met people from different walks of life who had been affected by similar injustices. She began to understand the value of kindness, empathy, and respect. It was a hard-learned lesson, but one that would stay with her for the rest of her life. Tom's victory was not just about winning the case, it was about creating a ripple effect in the community. The case sparked conversations about workplace harassment, emotional abuse, and the importance of treating everyone with dignity. The neighborhood began to heal, and people began to look out for each other. Sarah, on the other hand, found a new sense of purpose. She started counseling sessions to deal with the trauma she had faced and slowly began to rebuild her life. With Tom's support, she found a new job and started to pursue her passion for art. Sarah's story inspired others to speak out against injustice, and soon, the community was filled with voices demanding change. The case also had a profound impact on Tom. He realized that being a lawyer wasn't just about winning cases, it was about fighting for what was right. Tom's determination to stand up for Sarah had changed him, and he became a beacon of hope for those who felt powerless. As the dust settled, the community came together to celebrate justice and new beginnings. Sarah, Tom, and even Jessica had undergone a transformation, each learning valuable lessons about the importance of empathy, kindness, and respect. The story of the white millionaire's cruelty and the lawyer's determination to expose it became a testament to the power of courage and the human spirit.